तहसीन पूनावाला आप बिग बॉस में क्यों गए?
सेल्फिश रीजंस।
लेकिन तहसीन पूनावाला बहुत सारे लोगों के लिए अब वो हो गए हैं जो अरे ये तो बिग बॉस में थे, अब ये हमारे मंत्री कैसे बनेंगे?
मैं एक 5 स्टार होटल में बैठा हूँ पुणे के अंदर और अचानक से होटल की सिक्योरिटी मेरे पास आती, कहते वी हैव टू टेक यू टू द रूम एंड लॉक यू इन द रूम। आई कॉल्ड अप द जॉइंट कमिश्नर ऑफ पुलिस सेइंग कि somebody was on the way to throw acid at me. Acid. Actually, a majority of the people have not voted for the government in power. So perceptionally, while we think, oh, the BJP right now in the last 3 terms is the most powerful government, yes, it is. I'm not doubting it because first past the post system and the number of seats. But hey, they are only getting 40% of the Indian vote. 60% of Indians still don't want a BJP. And I'm not saying this anti-BJP.
दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी जो इकोनॉमी है वो यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका आज भी है, लेकिन दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी नेवी है चाइना।
Correct.
आप वर्ल्ड वॉर देख लीजिए, आप हिस्टोरिकली जिस नेशन के पास नेवी है, नेवी विंस वॉर्स। हाउ डू वी compete? How do we reach there?
I love this question, which is why I give kudos to Prime Minister Modi.
I think we should do
Yeah,
cheers on
let's
this
do
one.
cheers on this. I love the question. I love this territory.
Political analyst, consultant, venture capitalist, CEO, husband, philanthropist, TV personality, fitness freak, traveler, oh my god, overall great guy, Tehseen Poonawalla. It is such an honor and a privilege to have you here in my den on the Vishal Hour.
Vishal, thank you so much for having me here. It is such an honor to be on the Vishal Hour, and I have to tell you and the audience, Vishal has a fabulous patch. So thank you so much for inviting me to not just your studio, but to your house and to your home, and it's as warm as you are.
That's so sweet यार। तहसीन, आई फील कि आपने अपने आप को जैसे पोजीशन किया है बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्योंकि हम एक ऐसे दुनिया में रहते हैं जहाँ पर ब्रांडिंग, मार्केटिंग बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ होती है। मैं ये जानता हूँ कि आपने बहुत सारे ऐसे कॉन्शियस डिसीजंस लिए हैं टू बी ऑन टीवी, जैसे कि रियलिटी शो। आई वुड लाइक टू टॉक टू यू अबाउट क्यों, क्योंकि पैसों के लिए तो नहीं किया आपने।
पैसों के लिए
तो आपने क्यों?
पर पैसे बढ़िया मिले।
वो तो बहुत
बहुत बढ़िया।
हाँ, I might say that even I have been offered a lot of money.
Yeah. Money, and कभी you should never say no to money.
और बहुत बढ़िया चीज़ है यार। तो तहसीन पूनावाला आप बिग बॉस में क्यों गए?
Because selfish reasons. पैसे तो बहुत मिल रहे थे, but that was not the main motivation. The main motivation was कि entertainment का जो audience है वो न्यूज़ के ऑडियंस से बहुत अलग है और बहुत बड़ा ऑडियंस है, तो वहाँ पर चेहरा दिखता है और वो रिकॉल वैल्यू होती है। So it was a strategic decision.
That was as simple as it is.
As simple as
and
that.
so powerful.
Yeah.
So your objective was कि आप वहाँ पर जाएं और लोग तहसीन पूनावाला पर एक फेस डाल सकें।
बिल्कुल।
Worked?
Yes. क्योंकि मुझे जो वहाँ पर लड़ाई हो रही थी रोटी को लेकर, खाने को लेकर, जो अक्सर होती है बिग बॉस, वो तो मुझे करना नहीं था।
मुश्किल था?
मैं दिन
आप कब तक थे वहाँ?
मैं टोटल फॉर 2 weeks.
और 2 हफ्ते मतलब कैसा था एनवायरनमेंट? डिस्क्राइब दैट।
I loved it. I loved it.
Really?
I loved it. मेरी बहुत अच्छी दोस्ती हुई, सिड से हुई, पारस से हुई वगैरह। सिड of course is no longer there. I made friendships, Rashmi, Devolina, so you know these were names in industry. Ours was that star वाला, वो 13 season था, सारे वो थे, तो it was good fun. दोस्ती हुई। अच्छा, मुझे खाने के लिए लड़ाई करनी नहीं थी क्योंकि मैं दिन में 1 बार खाता हूँ।
बिल्कुल।
हाँ, so that is बस मैं अपना बैठता था।
So it helps। और आपने एक बहुत ही क्लियर इंटेंशन से किया कि आप
मुझे
अपने आप
फेस
को
वैल्यू चाहिए।
बिल्कुल।
और एक
उसका इंपॉर्टेंस बताइए सबको, फेस वैल्यू का इंपॉर्टेंस बताइए।
ये इंपॉर्टेंट है कि कल जब मैं लोगों के सामने जाऊंगा पब्लिक लाइफ में, लोग विल फाइंड दैट आई एम दे विल हैव अ रिकॉल वैल्यू, दे विल कनेक्ट टू मी एंड देयर इज फैमिलियरिटी।
तो ये जरूरी नहीं है कि वो किस तरीके से आपसे आइडेंटिफाई करें। देखिए
वो तो देखिए, वोट के समय अगर मैं चुनाव लड़ूंगा, वोट के समय तो मेरी बातों पे, मेरे वादों पे, मेरे पॉलिसीज पे वोट।
लेकिन एक प्रीकंसीव नोशन होता है कई लोगों के लिए, सिर्फ तहसीन पूनावाला वो नहीं है जो मेरे लिए है, एज डीप एज यू आर टू मी। लेकिन तहसीन पूनावाला बहुत सारे लोगों के लिए अब वो हो गए हैं जो अरे ये तो बिग बॉस में थे,
तो क्या हुआ?
अब ये हमारे मंत्री कैसे बनेंगे? अब वो भी एक डबल एज स्वॉर्ड है।
ऑफ कोर्स वो डबल एज स्वॉर्ड है, लेकिन क्योंकि बिग बॉस पे इतना लंबा टेन्योर नहीं था, एक फेस वैल्यू, अरे ये बिग बॉस पर क्या रहा है, और वो बात सुनेंगे।
तो आपने जो
बाकी बहुत कंटेंट है ना,
आपको जो करना था, आपने एक प्लेटफॉर्म को यूटिलाइज किया इन नाइस वे, और आप गए और and I must appreciate Big Boss. Yes. It is the most successful platform.
And
kudos to it.
And लोग कितना भी उसे गाली देंगे, कुछ भी करे, boss, people die to be on Big Boss. It is a phenomenal platform. I live in gratitude. I am so grateful to Viacom and Endemol. I'm very happy. Please go.
क्या बात कर रहे हैं?
It'll help you.
खा जाएंगे लोग मुझे।
मुझे दिखा के मुझे क्या
नहीं
पता?
नहीं आप
उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता.
So
वो
Big
एक-
Boss, you can love Big Boss, you
Or-
can hate Big Boss,
but
but you can't
you
ignore
can't
Big
ignore
Boss.
Big Boss.
लड़ाई हुई थोड़ी सी अंदर या नहीं?
सिड के साथ हुई थी थोड़ी सी.
थोड़ी सी. You regret that a little bit because he's
No, because he's not. There's a minor thing, but
Minor.
don't really
Okay.
care.
लेकिन लड़ाई की बात हो रही है. मैंने एक थोड़ी सी पर्सनल रिसर्च की आपके बारे में, थोड़ा सा अनहेल्दी, नॉट अ नाइस इंसिडेंट जो आपके साथ हुआ था होटल में.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, that was. So I'll tell you another incident. मैं इसके बारे में मैंने बात नहीं की. I was sitting in the Hyatt Delhi, Hyatt Regency Delhi, Bikaji Kama. I'm doing lunch with somebody from an embassy. She's a very senior diplomat, and she was from a friendly country, and she wanted to go to one of the Congress states. So we were discussing on the technology that country wanted to do and help in agriculture and that. So we're discussing. ये व्यक्ति आता है, हम लंच कर रहे हैं, हम कॉफ़ी शॉप में. उसकी और मेरी सिक्योरिटी कॉफ़ी शॉप के बारे इसलिए क्योंकि हम एक प्राइवेट लंच कर रहे हैं, हम इंपॉर्टेंट बातें कर रहे हैं और हम नहीं चाहते कि जो सिक्योरिटी उस बात को सुने, क्योंकि उसकी भी सिक्योरिटी थी, बिकॉज शी कम्स फ्रॉम अ इम्पॉर्टेंट कंट्री. ये सज्जन मेरे पास आते, कहते मैंने आपको टीवी पे देखा था, अक्सर होता है सेल्फी लेते, सेल्फी खींचने के बाद कहते मुझे एक महिला पॉलिटिशियन, जो बहुत सीनियर महिला पॉलिटिशियन, उनका सर काटना है. और उसकी आंखों में मैंने वो गुस्सा देखा, वो पागलपन देखा, वो एंगर देखा, और वो ज़रूर मेंटली डिस्टर्ब ही होगा, वरना ऐसी बात कौन करता है. और एक दूसरी महिला के साथ शी लुक लाइक अ फॉरेनर, मतलब वो दिखती थी फॉरेनर, शी वाज फ्रॉम अ डिफरेंट कंट्री, और दिखती थी फॉरेनर. कि कौन ऐसी बातें करता? पता है इसमें विशाल डर क्या लगता है? डर ये नहीं लगता है कि वो करेगा ही नहीं. अगर वो इस तरह का व्यक्ति है जो इतना डिस्टर्ब है, जो इस तरह की
सोच
बात
भी
है,
कर सकता,
सोच भी कर सकता, उसको बोल भी सकता है एक पराई औरत के सामने जिनको वो जानता नहीं है. कितना डिफिकल्ट है एक फॉक आपके आंख में मार दे, उसने कुछ आपकी आंख में मार, बाद में आप जो भी करोगे, या आपकी सिक्योरिटी आ गई या होटल की सिक्योरिटी आ गई, वो तो बात की बात है, आपको लग गया, यू आर इंजर्ड फॉर लाइफ. लेट मी टेल यू अनदर इंसिडेंट. एक होटल में, ये पुणे की होटल भी मैं इसलिए कह रहा हूँ बिकॉज इट्स नॉट रिलेटेड टू, हम अक्सर सोचते कि क्राइम इज स्ट्रीट पे ही हो. दिस इज अनदर होटल अगेन.
आप तो 5 स्टार होटल्स की बात
मैं 5 स्टार होटल की बात कर रहा हूँ.
जी.
मैं एक 5 स्टार होटल में बैठा हूँ पुणे के अंदर, और अचानक से होटल की सिक्योरिटी मेरे पास आती, कहते वी हैव टू टेक यू टू द रूम एंड लॉक यू इन द रूम. मैं तो दिल भर रहा हूँ, ये क्या होगा? नहीं सर, हमें लोकल पुलिस स्टेशन से कॉल आया है, देयर इज गोइंग टू बी एन अटैक ऑन यू, द पीपल आर ऑन द वे हियर, we have to put you in the room and secure you. The police are on the way here. I called up the Joint Commissioner of Police saying, he says, yes, we've got this information. Somebody was on the way to throw acid at me.
What?
Vishal, the police got this information. Local police in Pune.
Why?
बस लोग कभी कभी लोग आपके पॉइंट से बिल्कुल इत्तेफाक नहीं रखते, वो नाराज होते, उनको लगता आपने कोई ऐसी बात कह दी कि जिससे उनको ठेस पहुंची. इस तरह की घटनाएं हुई है. वो एसिड लेकर आ रहे थे विशाल, एसिड.
और बताइए, वो आए वहां पर पहुंचे, गिरफ्तार?
आई थिंक दे गॉट कॉट अहेड. इसके
आर यू ओके?
या यार देखो, जो होना है तो होगा ही.
बट यू आर नॉट इवन इन पब्लिक सर्विस येट.
या बट आई हैव स्ट्रांग ओपिनियंस.
यस यू डू.
एक साल पहले, जिस दिन वर्ल्ड कप फाइनल्स था, उसकी एक रात पहले या 2 रात पहले, मेरी दिल्ली के ऑफिस पे देयर वाज people attempted to come in, and before that there was a threat to shoot me. And
Why?
And those
Why?
people, because I stood up for a BJP spokesperson. मैंने कहा कि ये जो बकवास चल रही है सर-तन से जुदा, वो लड़की ने जो कहा नहीं कहा, वो सही है गलत है, वो कोर्ट तय करेगा. हमें कोई अधिकार नहीं मॉब बनाकर उसका सर काटने की. तो एक तो जो ऐसे वाला था, इस साइड के फंडामेंटलिस्ट है, वो साइड के फंडामेंटलिस्ट है,
तो दोनों तरीके.
बिकॉज आप सेंट्रिस्ट हैं. सो द डाउन साइड ऑफ बीइंग अ सेंट्रिस्ट इज, the good side is you get more people with you. The downside is दोनों साइड के फैनेटिक लोग आपको नफरत करते हैं और वो यूनाइट होते हैं.
ज्यादा प्यार, ज्यादा नफरत
दोनों. तो इस साइड के आगे थे.
तहसीन, आपको डर नहीं लगता?
डर नहीं लगता
पक्का
100%. डर मेरी डिक्शनरी, शिवाज विथ मी, महाकाल शिवाज विथ मी, मुझे डर नहीं लगता. और honestly I'm beyond that stage because the universe has given me everything.
No, but you now have a beautiful child, a lovely family. उस तरीके से डर.
पर जो होना है तो होगा. When is security save anybody? When is क्या उस डर के वजह से मैं बोलना बंद कर दूं? क्या मैं अपने स्टैंड लेना बंद कर दूं? I can't, this can't be the position that I want to put myself in. मुझे डरना नहीं है जिंदगी में. वो एक बहुत अच्छी पोएम है. कुछ लोग तुम्हें समझाएंगे, कुछ लोग तुम्हें समझाएंगे, वो तुमको ये बताएंगे, जो है वो भी खो सकता है, जो है वो भी खो सकता है. इस राह में रैजन है इतने, रैजन यानी कि जो हाईवे पे चोर होते, इस राह में रैजन है इतने, कुछ और यहाँ हो सकता है. अरे कुछ और तो अक्सर होता है, कुछ और तो अक्सर होता है, लेकिन तुम जिस लम्हे में जिंदा हो, ये लम्हा तुमसे जिंदा है. ये वक्त फिर लौट कर ना आएगा, तुम अपनी करनी कर गुजरो, जो होगा देखा जाएगा.
Wow.
So
You live by this philosophy, don't you?
I live by this. That's why I stand up to bullies. यार कोई bully नहीं हो करेगा. I can't. And I can't take that. I can't take bullies. I can't take when people bully people. मुझसे वो देखा नहीं जाता, वो सहन नहीं होता है. I have to stand up to bullies. चाहे वो कितना भी powerful हो.
आज on a one-on-one, I'm seeing a very different side of you, जो I thank you for showing. I don't think आपने पहले ये दिखाया है किसी को. You're a very emotional person. You're a very passionate person, which leads to emotion. बहुत passion है आप में, बहुत emotion है. You're a very family man. What went wrong? मैं of course बात कर रहा हूँ.
My brother.
Yeah. And I've also मैंने देखा है आपके बहुत सारे इंटरव्यूज देखे हैं, और एक तो मैंने रिसेंटली बहुत बढ़िया इंटरव्यू देखा था, आप दोनों साथ में थे.
Yeah.
और मैंने वो प्यार देखा, मैंने वो रिस्पेक्ट देखा. तो ऐसे भी क्या हो सकता है जो सुलह नहीं हो सकती?
There was something that went wrong from my side, something that went wrong from his side. I just felt कि we both weren't capable of dealing with it at that point. वो capability नहीं थी. क्या आगे चलकर we can be together? मेरे closest friends बीजेपी में, मुझे कोई दिक्कत नहीं है बीजेपी से. एक perception, एक दो अलग अलग रास्ते पे चल हम we went, and I just felt, or I just feel, we should not now wash dirty linen in public. I am very proud of Shehzad, very proud. मैं genuinely मानता हूँ कि बीजेपी का सबसे बड़ा नेशनल स्पोक्सपर्सन सुधांशु त्रिवेदी जी और शहजाद है. मैं genuinely मानता हूँ. मैं genuinely मानता हूँ कांग्रेस का लॉस है कि वो कांग्रेस का स्पोक्सपर्सन नहीं है. Genuinely, he is unbelievable. But उस रास्ते पर मैं नहीं चल सकता हूँ, and I accept that road. I wish him best. I want him to be very, very successful. I'll be very proud. But I like this distance. I don't think even now there should be, for now there should be a togetherness. वो जब होना होगा, in the fullness of time वो हो जाएगा. But at this moment, it's good that he's happy and I'm happy. I'm okay with that. Being together may lead to more stress. So sometimes it's okay to be on a different path. But nothing makes me prouder than to see him do well. अगर मैं किसी डिबेट में हारता हूँ और मुझे खुशी होती, तो उसके सामने हारने में मुझे खुशी होती है, वरना मैं डिबेट में हारता नहीं. सो आई एम वेरी हैप्पी दैट ही, बट ऐसा नहीं कि देयर इज दैट आई लूज ऑन पर्पस. ही इज ब्रिलियंट, ही इज टैलेंटेड, ही इज वेरी हार्ड वर्किंग, ही इज वेरी डेडिकेटेड, ही इज सो पैशनेट अबाउट व्हाट ही बिलीव्स इन, एंड आई एम सो हैप्पी फॉर हिम. And I very often see him getting trolled by the liberal side, and I wonder, because he is the kind of person you should build a bridge with. So I do get that, but I also think as people, we are not meant to be together as brothers. I think it's okay to be separate. There'll be too much of, there's too much of water under the bridge. Let some more go, and then we'll see. I mean, right now there's too much of stagnant water accumulated under the bridge. I think it should just flow away, and then we can figure this out, what we have to do. But right now it's okay. There's a bit of space. I'm good with that.
Well, thank you for sharing it.
Yeah.
And once again, it was not meant for sensationalization.
No.
It just very naturally came from a point of seeing you.
Yeah.
And honestly, ये question मैंने एक बहुत ही नहीं पूछूंगा kind of में रखा था, but with the ease that you've put me on to this conversation, और आपके family की तरफ, आपके emotional side को देखकर ही it flowed in. So thank you for sharing, and I hope that both of you all find the right relationship.
Yeah, that's important. It does not have to be political or brother-like or friendship. It can be so many other different.
But it's not political. A lot of people have a thought that it is.
No.
Not
नहीं. मुझे क्या दिक्कत है को बीजेपी में? वो कोई दिक्कत. मुझे दिक्कत और कुछ थी. But it's not political. It's not. And I want him to do well. I really want him to do well. Why would I not want? मतलब उसको बेटे की तरह पाला. मतलब मेरा सब कुछ था.
That's really sweet. But I wish the best for both of you all.
Yeah.
One of my favorite actors in the film industry who I've had the privilege of working with is Anil Kapoor, sir.
Yeah.
And he did a film which is one of my favorite films जिसका नाम है नायक.
Correct.
जिसमें I think वो एक दिन के लिए
चीफ मिनिस्टर
बने थे और उन्होंने बहुत सारे चेंजेस करे. Let's put you in a hypothetical situation, तहसीन, कि आप एक दिन के लिए वो मंत्री आप बन गए हो. एक दिन तो बहुत कम बात है. एक महीने के लिए सॉल्यूशंस क्या होते हैं, क्या चीजें?
एक टर्म. लेट्स कीप इट वन टर्म.
चलिए एक टर्म को डिफाइन कीजिए. कितने साल?
5 years.
5 years.
Two things that I would do. Bring in technology in governance at a massive level. मैं मानता हूँ technology can solve a lot of problems.
Technology मतलब AI specific?
AI specific. And imagine AI integrated with government, where you can pinpoint कि कहाँ पे खराबी है, सड़क कहाँ पर खराब है, पॉट होल कहाँ पर है, उस बेसिक चीज से लेकर कूड़ा कचरा कहाँ पर है, उस बेसिक चीज से लेकर किसे क्या प्रॉब्लम हो रही है, and redistribute government resources, not private resources. And within 3 to 4 years, you can eliminate poverty and you can make a healthier society. So, for example, इस वक्त नॉर्थ इंडिया में कैंसर का पैंडेमिक चल रहा है.
अच्छा.
या अब देखिए, थिंक अबाउट इट. पूरे भारत में एक हार्ट अटैक का पैंडेमिक चल रहा है. डायबिटीज का पैंडेमिक चल रहा है. बट डायबिटीज इज ऑल्सो वेरी स्पेसिफिक टू अ सर्टन group of people who are progressive and unlike the very poor, right? Can we use AI to improve people's health?
Can we?
Of course we can.
Okay.
Bring in technology. I am a complete believer in technology. To get to the point, अगर आपके वहाँ सड़क बन रही है, वहाँ पर अगर पॉट होल आ रहा है, वो पूरे देश में पता है कि ये कॉन्ट्रैक्टर है, पॉट होल क्यों आ रहा है, and the solution to that is the contractor will have to work. Open AI with transparent information. AI for justice. For example, सोचिए इस चीज को.
Say that again.
AI for justice. For example, सोचिए इस चीज को. You have the complete data कि कितने लोग जेल में हैं एक छोटे क्राइम के लिए जिसकी सजा हो 4 या 5 साल, लेकिन ऑलरेडी 2-2.5 साल जेल में बिता चुके, उनको बेल नहीं मिला है. Default, they will get bail.
I see.
In that case, अगर कोई और केस हो, that's it. And you have that many people out, which frees up that many cases, जिसकी वजह से judiciary becomes faster. As a result of it, justice becomes faster. At the same time, जो चीज मैं करूँगा, I will take the lead to build laws pertaining to AI. For example, AI का इस्तेमाल हो सकता है क्राइम के लिए. हो रहा है. आप विशाल को impersonate कर सकते हैं. आप किसी लड़की को ब्लैकमेल कर सकते हो. आप फाइनेंशियल क्राइम्स कर सकते हो. And AI will already traverses geographies. तो आप किसी और मुल्क में बैठकर भारत में क्राइम कर सकते हो. So one of the leads as a leader in India, I will take, at least for democratic countries, is to build common laws that will help deliver swift justice, again with the help of AI, to solve AI related crimes across geographies. तो सोच लीजिए कोई बंदा कनाडा में बैठकर या अफ्रीका में बैठकर या अमेरिका में बैठकर भारत में कोई क्राइम कमिट करता है, या रिवर्स भारत में बैठकर कहीं क्राइम करता है. We will now need laws to sort of create that safety
interconnectivity through countries.
And I think that's a very important discussion to take. And particularly भारत के अंदर, अगर हमें through AI we know exactly what is the rain all across the country, which region we have, and then we also have the technology to collect that water. We can transport water, rainwater, from areas that have extra water to areas that have droughts.
Correct.
Once you have that data and you have the technology and you have the basic services available.
So what you're saying is technology आज available है दुनिया में और भी enhance बहुत ही जल्दी हो रही है, which can be used for governance and which can be used for improvement of
the common person's life.
Common person.
AI for education.
I got it. AI and technology, great idea.
My first focus.
Yeah. What else?
Second, as a result of that, because of the technological push, you will require the human capital to invest.
बिल्कुल.
वो बनाएगा कौन? Human beings. तो उनको नौकरियां मिलेगी, which solves your employment problem or unemployment problem for the younger generation.
Which is contradictory to the fear of AI कि AI लोगों के jobs ले रहा है. आप बोल रहे हो कि AI अगर आप ठीक तरीके से इस्तेमाल करें,
you will create more jobs.
You will create jobs. Very good perspective.
And India is in a
if it can work.
And India is in such a unique position because what is the two things that AI will have to learn? Humanity and physics. तो जो रोबोट पानी ले आ रहा है, गर्म पानी ले आएगा, उसको ये समझना होगा कि उस दीवार को अगर वो टकराएगा तो ये पानी गिर जाएगा, उसको नुकसान होगा. You will have to teach the AI humanity and physics, which is India's strong point. So I will work on that. And once I create that, I will have solved not just the health problem and the justice problem and the education problem for the country, but I would also have solved the unemployment problem for the country, which then allows my younger generation to live a better quality of life and allows me to export my services to various other countries where this technology is not available because of the human capital.
But, I mean, it's okay. But doesn't it sound too oversimplified? Is it possible?
Oh, the human mind can achieve everything it wants. So when your boy is in power, I will do it. I will transform this nation to a nation of not a middle income country, but a rich country that is exporting our services and our expertise to other countries and welcoming the world into India.
Which brings me to the question. Will Tehseen Poonawalla ever run for office?
Now that's hypothetical.
Question.
This is what
I'm asking the OG right here because you have the solutions.
Yeah.
आप clear हो, आपके पास वो insight है, आपके पास वो exposure है, आप दोनों पार्टी के लोगों के साथ घुल मिलते हैं, आपका eccentric perception है, you're patriotic.
Very.
You've got a clear mind, a pure mind for the nation's good. तहसीन पूनावाला को अगर हमें एक clear opportunity दें, आपका विश पूरा हो जाएगा, तो क्या आप भारत के प्रधानमंत्री का पद छूना चाहेंगे?
There is no greater honor than serving your country.
So you would want to be the Prime Minister?
Why would I not?
Oh, that's fine.
Very
Great.
clear.
Aspiration.
Yeah.
Now, what is stopping you?
Do you know democracy is not compatible with mathematics? So there is no mathematical equation that allows you to have democracy. So for example, in India, everyone who's come to power, every government that's come to power, nobody's crossed, I think, the 50% mark.
Okay.
So actually, no government's got over 50% of the people of India voting for them.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the first or Nehruji's government, I'm not sure. But basically, by and large, at least in recent memory, so actually a majority of the people have not voted for the government in power. So perceptionally, while we think, oh, the BJP right now in the last 3 terms is the most powerful government. Yes, it is. I'm not doubting it because of first past the post system and the number of seats. But hey, stop. They are only getting 40% of the Indian vote. 60% of Indians still don't want a BJP. And I'm not saying this anti-BJP. I'm even saying it for the Congress earlier on. Before I get trolled by BJP people, I'm even saying it for Congress.
No trolling here, guys.
No trolling, no trolling.
Conversation hai bhai.
So maths and democracy actually at loggerheads. But that's a conversation for another day. So you got to beat. So maths is actually incompatible with democracy in a first past the post system. Think about this. Think about this. Okay. Isn't it crazy?
It's mind blowing. लेकिन I think
and those numbers justify.
Will it be fair to say कि तहसीन पूनावाला ने अपने political campaign यहाँ the Vishal Hour पर शुरू की है?
But that's a good one. But I would.
I'm sure there's a debate. I'm sure your friends, your colleagues from different parties ने आपको बोला होगा कि come on, ये लो ticket. You know?
I do want it at some point, but I don't want the Rajya Sabha route. Lok Sabha and the people.
For the people.
For the people, by
the people.
Yeah.
Of the people.
Of the people. And with the people.
And with the people. Well,
Only with the people.
I hope that integrity always remains. Because it's easy to get swayed away in the system sometimes. You know, so I hope that.
But that system has to be broken. Vishal, that system has to be broken now.
Yeah.
It has to be broken.
And आपने पहले ही कहा था कि one man can make a difference.
Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King.
Sardar Patel.
Sardar Patel. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. We don't talk enough about Nehru. Even the Congress doesn't. What Nehru achieved. He inherited a bankrupt country. A country that wasn't high in production. A country that was not economically or militarily powerful. And he left behind a country that had democracy, where the armed forces, unlike Pakistan, do not interfere. He gave us a civilian administration. We don't understand the importance of that. Just look at Pakistan. And then look at what Liaquat Ali Khan achieved, and he achieved nothing. And look at what Nehru achieved. And I am saying there are a lot of flaws in Nehruji. I'm not denying it. Hindsight is always 20/20. But the one thing that Nehruji did, he gave us a civilian government. He gave us democracy. However flawed, and democracy is always flawed and work in progress.
Absolutely.
No democracy is perfect. It can never be perfect. It's always work in progress. But look at India and look at Pakistan. And look at how our armed forces... And
But why is that, Tehseen, that you brought it up? दो भाई हैं, all right? एक इंडिया है और एक पाकिस्तान है. दोनों का सेपरेशन हो जाता है. एक जो देश है वो ऊंचाई पर जा रहा है, भारत, थैंक गॉड, और एक जो है पाकिस्तान जो क्रम्पल हो रहा है.
Correct.
इसका रीजन क्या है?
Many reasons, but the two main reasons is lack of democracy and religion in politics. Majoritarianism, religion in politics, and majoritarianism. What was one of the reasons Bangladesh broke away from Pakistan? Let's come to 70s, forget even the 40s. The imposition of Urdu in Bangladesh. अरे वो तो बांग्ला बोलने वाले लोग थे ना.
तो आप धर्म की बात कर रहे हो.
And imposition of
अगर किसी भी देश का जो प्राइमरी मोटिव है, ड्राइविंग फोर्स है, वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ धर्म है.
Correct.
आप कह रहे हैं कि it is the first indication of
the failed country. Second, Pakistan is the only country where the army owns a country. The only army in the world that owns a country is Pakistan.
वो तो कहते हैं अपने आप को डेमोक्रेसी क्लेम करते हैं.
नॉर्थ कोरिया भी कहता है.
अच्छा ये मैं
नॉर्थ कोरिया का फुल फॉर्म है डेमोक्रेटिक रिपब्लिक ऑफ नॉर्थ कोरिया.
करेक्ट.
वाओ. DRNK जो भी है उनका फुल फॉर्म.
बिल्कुल
That doesn't make them democratic. वो क्लेम करने के लिए कुछ भी करे.
तो पाकिस्तान डेमोक्रेसी है, लेकिन आप बोल रहे हो कि वो एक्चुअली हिपोक्रेसी है.
It's not a democracy. It is an army that owns a country. The army manufactures everything from industrial production to doing and to running the country, to foreign affairs.
पूरा पावर मिलिट्री के पास.
It's with the army. They have puppet governments in place. And the only time that the army has recently been challenged has been with Imran Khan, which is again a paradox.
बिल्कुल.
The paradox is that Imran Khan does have popular support, but he's become such an Islamist, which is terrible.
लेकिन is he playing to the gallery?
Could be. He wants to throw away the IMF, he wants to throw away the reforms, he wants to be an Islamist, he wants to be in conservatism. So the more democracy is there, it's actually the more against democracy, which is again a paradox.
बिल्कुल. So what's the future of Pakistan? Is it going to, बहुत सारे लोग कह रहे हैं कि पाकिस्तान टुकड़ों टुकड़ों में हो जाएगा. Or do you think that Pakistan will emerge and stabilize?
So frankly, I don't care about Pakistan. But there are two issues that bother me about Pakistan. As Vajpayee ji says, I can change my friends, I can't change my neighbors.
बिल्कुल.
And my neighbors is a nuclear power. You don't want those nuclear weapons going in wrong hands. So I need somebody I can talk to. So when I visualize myself as Prime Minister or the Foreign Minister, I do want a hotline to Pakistan, even back channel to talk, which is happening even now under the Modi government, by the way.
बिल्कुल.
So if you remember, there was a missile that went from India that landed in Pakistan, which didn't have a warhead. It happened recently. There was obviously a hotline that didn't need Pakistan retaliation. Imagine a missile coming into Pakistan.
It could have been misconceived. बहुत बुरी तरीके से.
A missile landed in Pakistan from India.
मैं जानता हूँ. वो उन्होंने कहा कि गलती से हो गया.
And immediately somebody was on the hotline. They got the hotline. They said, okay, nothing happened.
And thank God they believed it.
Yeah, because they said there was no weapons on it, and our structures such that we cannot load a weapon on our missile without the government.
Correct. I get
all that. And so you want
communication हमेशा होना चाहिए.
You must talk to your enemies. Whether you talk to your friends or no, you must always talk to your enemies. Secondly, we are in a geography that is important to the globe.
बिल्कुल.
And then comes in my friend China, with whom I have a bigger problem.
Yes.
My regional aspirations are going to be a thorn in China's global aspirations.
Already are.
Think about it. And on Twitter, you have all these so-called commentators saying, oh, we'll have a BRICS currency, we'll have a BRICS currency. They're all cheering. Do you even think about it? A BRICS currency is going to be in China's interest, not in my country's interest. So, look, I don't want. China will always find me to be a problem. Also because I'm a democracy, which China hates, dislikes. So, I don't want China and Pakistan forming the evil of Axis against me in any case.
Which they already are.
Which they already are. And they're trying to, and with the China-Russian axis, with the Russia-Iran axis, Iran's fighting two wars now. And one of the wars Iran is fighting is the Russia-Ukraine war. Russia's recent gains is because of those Iranian missiles and those drones. So and I have excellent relations with Iran. So our enemies want my neighborhood where I have two nuclear neighbors staring down at me and joining forces. I need to calm down things. Because my interest is in my people progressing. I don't have time to fight these two people right now. I have to elevate my people. I have to eliminate poverty in my country. That's my goal. So for that, I have to keep my hotline open. That's one. Number two, Pakistan is also a paradox because if Pakistan were to break up, as it said, where is that population going to come? right? They're all going to come into India. What happens then? Where do I keep those people?
And
How do I take? And the disturbance.
अच्छे लोगों के साथ कुछ ऐसे भी लोग आएंगे जिनका इंटरेस्ट एंटी भारत होगा.
Even if that doesn't happen.
No, come on.
Even if that, and I'm being very, वो तो होगा ही होगा, but even if it doesn't. With the refugees coming to my country, what am I going to do? Where am I going to keep them? How am I going to throw them? So there's
It's a strain on the country.
It's a strain on the country.
Yeah.
A stable neighborhood is in my interest.
Talking about China, तहसीन, लोग कहते हैं कि भारत चाइना बहुत कंपटीशन हो रहा है, लेकिन अगर आप बेसिक फिगर्स पर जाएं, राइट, I'm a total nationalist. I believe that India is already the future. But to cut a long story short, अगर हम चाइना से कंपैरिजन कर रहे हैं, फिगरेटिवली कंपैरिजन इस वक्त बिल्कुल नहीं है. दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी जो इकोनॉमी है वो यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका आज भी है. कुछ 30 to 35 ऑड ट्रिलियन डॉलर्स का उनका जीडीपी है. फिर आता है चाइना का 18 से 20 करोड़ का है. इंडिया का इस वक्त कुछ 5 तक जा रहा है. तो डिस्पैरिटी तो बहुत है. दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा आर्मी जो है वो इस वक्त यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका. सबसे मॉडर्न और टेक्नोलॉजिकली एडवांस जो है वो यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका. लेकिन दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी नेवी है चाइना. आप वर्ल्ड वॉर देख लीजिए, आप जो भी बड़े जो वॉर्स हैं, हिस्टोरिकली जिस नेशन के पास नेवी है, नेवी विंस वॉर्स.
करेक्ट.
इस वक्त उनके पास करीबन अप्रोक्सीमेटली 5 times of every one है. How do we compete? How do we reach there? Tell us as a leader.
I love this question, which is why I give kudos to Prime Minister Modi.
I think we should do cheers on this one.
Cheers on this. I love the question. I love this territory. So here I give kudos to Prime Minister Modi. India is a part of Quad.
Yes.
And the next battles are going to happen in the South Sea and the South Pacific. A lot of people believed China is a rising power. It's a very powerful country. But we're still not in a multipolar world. We're still in a unipolar world with USA leading.
Okay.
America's way ahead on every aspect. China hoped to overtake the American economy. That dream's gone down the pipe drawing.
You don't think so? 2030, 2040 तक हो जाएगा?
They say 2040, 2050, but that number was much earlier ahead. We now know that that's
उनका growth कम हो गया.
Yeah.
Please.
In fact, they've gone into recession. So we now know that their real estate is collapsing, their edutech is collapsing. We know that. So we do know that China has a problem. We also know that China has what is now called the China debt problem, which many countries are realizing they fall into the China debt problem, including Sri Lanka with the ports. So now there is that problem that they are also facing that resistance where countries don't want that easy Chinese money coming in. But China and Russia do form a very formidable opposition, and they are a very formidable unit. So China is trying to build something on the lines which is an anti-Western, anti-US front. That is happening right now. The next battles for control will happen in the South Sea and the South Pacific. And therefore the Indian Navy and the Australian Navy, and therefore the Quads will be a very important region, Japan, to control. And that's the counterbalance. Why does China have such a problem with India and the Quad? Because of this. So that's going to be your one area of influence. Second, how does India compete with China? So first, a lot of people do praise, and I also, that India has a very balanced foreign policy. We're friends with USA, we're friends with Russia, we're friends with Ukraine, we're friends with... But me, when I visualize myself as a prime minister or again as foreign minister, just being balanced or just being, should not be, balancing both sides should not be the goal. What is the goal and the achievement of being balanced must be understood. So one is, yes, we have a policy of balance, which is great. We've always had that, and it's grown under the Prime Minister. Kudos. But that itself cannot be an objective of being balanced. We must also, that balance must also have end goals for India.
Correct.
What are those end goals for India? So India has certain shared values with the Western world: democracy, freedom, freedom of speech, etc., etc., etc. It also has some historical relationships, be it with Iran, be it with other countries, be it with the Middle Eastern countries. These are historical relationships. India has had trade, etc. How can we balance that in our interest? And all foreign policy ultimately must lead to domestic growth. I'm very clear about it, that our people must progress.
For the people totally.
For the people totally. Ultimately, that should be the balance. So whatever it is, how does India now play the role ahead in not just balancing equations, but also taking forward her weight in the global scenario. So can India play a role in the Israel-Palestine conflict? A little bit more. In the Israel-Iran tension that is happening. We know that Israel has gone after the Iranian proxies, Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthis, they want to go behind. But we don't want an Iran-Israel conflict at this point. And we don't want West Asia to be not stable. Can we play a role? Because Prime Minister is very close to Netanyahu, very close to the Iranian leadership. Can India play a little bit more? So I would ideally like India to punch a little bit more above her weight.
So you feel
A little bit
you
more.
feel the position that geopolitically India ka hai is is a
Is
place
good.
of a place where we can compete with China. In that's the basic question.
Where we can balance China. I compete. I don't want to be a superpower. I want to be a super partner. Why do I want to be a superpower? I want to be a super partner. Let me collaborate with China where it's in my interest. Let me collaborate with America where it's in my interest. Why do I have to pick sides?
And why do we have to choose sides?
Why do I have to?
We don't have to. So
The only side I want to choose is my people. And I want them to progress.
Fair enough. And that's where you feel that India balances out China and we can kind of keep our heads
China
above the
can
water.
never go in the Western bloc.
But we can.
India can play both. India is in the BRICS.
That's the biggest power that we
remove
have.
India from BRICS. And that entire is anti-West. And yet India is so comfortable in quads.
Again. Okay.
Fabulous.
So this conversation can go on again for an entire podcast because I know your passion on it and I tickled it a little bit and just, so thank you for those bits. It's time for me to ask you my final question, which is, I really want this answer.
Sure.
Today, अगर आप, and I know कि आप बहुत सारे leaders को appreciate करते हैं दोनों parties से, या individually, even industrialists, actors, या just human beings. आप इतने लोगों को जानते हो. अगर आप में एक ऐसा power आ जाए कि आप लोगों को merge कर दे, इनका ये, इनका ये, इनका ये, इनका ये, प्लीज आप ऐसा एक इंसान बनाइए जो मर्ज करके भारत के लिए सबसे बेस्ट लीडर बने.
We'll keep Mahatma Gandhi out of it because Mahatma Gandhi को एक अलग level पे हम रखते हैं.
Let's keep it to
Contemporary?
Alive today.
Okay, alive leaders.
Not only leaders.
Alive people.
Yeah. Along through the spectrum of actors, industrialists, businessmen, friends, family, all that.
Shah Rukh Khan's energy.
Okay.
So Shah Rukh Khan's energy is infectious.
And so is yours.
Thank you. So Shah Rukh's energy. Modi ji's determination. Ironclad. Rahul Gandhi's stamina to keep. And Mrs. Sonia Gandhi's grace. Because Ratan Tata is not amongst us anymore.
But let's count. It's very recent.
Yeah,
He's still very much amongst us.
So Ratan Tata's giving nature and Mukesh Ambani's vision.
Wow.
Of course, his vision is for his company, but I'm multiplying that into the country. So I think that's a great combination. So a vision that Mukesh Ambani has, the giving ability of Ratan Tata, the energy of Shah Rukh Khan, the grace of Mrs. Gandhi, the determination of Prime Minister Modi, and the willpower and the perseverance of Rahul Gandhi. I think
that will be a powerhouse.
Yeah, a complete powerhouse. I think if AI can make something like that, which is not very difficult to do, I think that'll be a great combination to.
And aren't we so blessed that हम एक ऐसे देश में रहते हैं जहाँ पर ऐसे लोग आज भी हैं.
जहाँ पर ऐसे लोग आज भी हैं. And this is, I always tell people, this is the greatest country in the world. मतलब ऐसा कितना इस मुल्क में there's so much of culture, so much of history, so much of love, so much of togetherness. In fact, I'll just take 2 minutes more. A lot of what, and it's very interesting, some of the most intelligent minds across the world that are talking about now in discovering how, for example, the universe started, all those answers are there with India. So this is very, very fascinating, and I want to share this with you viewers. We now know that the universe did not start with the Big Bang. But the Big Bang did create the universe, it didn't start with the Big Bang.
Okay.
So the Rig Veda asks a question. Did the universe always exist, or did gods create the universe? Okay, it asks this question. We thought scientifically the Big Bang was the creation of the universe 13.8 billion years ago. And we can see the Big Bang happening live right now because that's the time light's taken to reach us. So we can now see the Big Bang happening.
Yeah.
But now cosmologists have, and those who study the cosmology and the sciences of the sky have now realized that before the Big Bang was a period called inflation that led to the Big Bang.
Oh.
And again, when you read the various books on Shiv Puranas and on Shiva, it says when there was no nothingness existed Shiva. So we now know that the universe always existed. The Big Bang led to the formation of the universe as we see it today, but the universe always existed in inflation. And that is what's written, there is no nothingness existed Shiva. And therefore outside the study where nuclear study is done in Europe, the Center for Nuclear Energy Study in Europe.
The atom theory, yeah.
Yeah, the Shiva statue is there in the Nataraja form. And what happens when Shiva dances? There is a massive Big Bang which led to the formation of the universe. And now, we've always said, and I'm talking from a very Shivite point of view, that Shiva is the universe. And now people say, look, if you're looking for God, maybe the universe is the God itself, because the universe creates itself.
Right.
So all of this, if you go back into our books and you read it, and you look at what quantum is researching now, or what scientists are researching now, or you know that there was something beyond the Big Bang existed.
You're blowing my mind.
So this already exists in our books, which science is studying now. So if we just study our books and the culture that India has, I'm not even saying it from a religious perspective, we have so many answers that are there that today modern science...
In our own Vedas.
In our own Vedas, in our own books, that actually talk about this.
So you would encourage a lot of the youngsters and a lot of people to read.
Which is the educational reforms I want to bring in. Because from a purely scientific way, this blows our mind. We now know that all of us are created from the stars. We are all created from elements of the stars, the carbon, the hydrogen from the stars. We all know that. That's written in our books. And therefore, it is so important to value what we have. And most of this, life on Earth as we know it, started about 3.54 million years ago. And yet, most of that time, we were a single cellular organism.
Bilkul.
The multicellular organisms only happened in the last million years.
We're a very nascent society.
Very nascent.
Civilization, yeah.
And imagine the progress we've made, which is a speck in the vast cosmos. This is a speck of time, a few million years.
आज हमने कितने topics?
Yeah, from China and the global thing to
Politics,
quantum,
to spirituality, to family, to righteousness, to nation,
to not being bullied, never be bullied. Yeah.
Tehseen Poonawalla, on that note, I know and I'm inspired कि आज मुझे एक दोस्त मिला है, and this is to a growing friendship. I wish you love, I wish you health. Thank you so much.
Vishal, I want you to know, and I want everyone to know that I cherish this relationship I share with you.
Thank you.
It's a bond that I share with you. It's we don't speak every day, but when we do, we leave from where we started.
Yes.
It's a relationship that is almost like two electrons that can connect at any given point through a wormhole. It's almost like that. And I know that if I pick up the phone, you're there on the other line. I want to wish you, I want to wish Rashi, your lovely daughter, all the best. You have an amazingly warm house, and it reflects your personality. It reflects Rashi's personality. I'm so happy. I'm so happy you invited me to your home. I'm so happy to be a part of this. So thank you so much, Vishal. And I'm so glad I could do this.
I'm one of the few people who's humbled and so happy and elated to have met and to know and to call Tehseen Poonawalla my friend. Thank you for being on the Vishal Hour. It's such a pleasure.
Thank you, Vishal. Thank you. Look forward to it more.
Thank you. A big hand, please. My God, you give so much. You give so much.